It's the rematch we've all been waiting for. It's Oregon. It's Ohio State. We thought we would get it in Indy for the Big Ten title game. We got in the college football playoff, though, baby. What can we expect in this game? We'll talk about it right now. But first things first, if you're an Oregon fan, you're an Ohio State fan, you're a college football sicko, make sure you're subscribed right here to the On3 YouTube channel. We have our official prediction for this game now right around the corner coming on our Tuesday live show. So the best way to make sure you don't miss that by being subscribed right here. Before we get to that, though, some early thoughts on this game, some things that we got to account for that will play a major factor into who we end up predicting to win. Spoiler alert, we don't know who's going to be yet in terms of our prediction internally here, but like a big thing we're going to assess here and a big variable throughout the week is the quarterback play. And that sounds fairly obvious, right? But when you look at the last time these two teams played, quarterback play was creme de la creme. Like Will Howard, I think, strutted his stuff quite a bit and showed you he can be that guy for you. Dylan Gabriel announced his Heisman campaign in this game. Both dudes went bonkers, absolutely bonkers. Obviously, if one of these dudes brings the juice and the other is maybe a step behind, that's going to play a factor here, especially in the game flow of this whole thing. Like if Oregon gets out to call it a 24-14 lead at the end of the first half, it'd be a lot of points in the first half. Let's say it's 14-3 lead. They're going to be tough to catch, right? That's going to be some ground you have to make up. Same deal with Ohio State. If they get out to a sizable lead, like I think both defenses are so stout to where you could then, I think, shape-shift your offense to take some time off the clock, not play keep away, but just be able to impose your will a little bit more. It changes the style, it changes the pace at which you have to play. A big part of that, like I just said, going back to your quarterback play and how much they give you, how much juice they give you. Now, in addition to that, Oregon had a lot of success. Dylan Gabriel had a lot of success because of how that Oregon wide receiving core was able to take the Ohio State DBs vertical. And we've said, ad nauseum on this show, Ohio State has an NFL secondary, just walking around at the collegiate level. Oregon missed that memo, and they took them yard multiple times. I'd be surprised if that was the same approach from Oregon. But if it is and they have success, it's going to be a very long day for the Buckeyes. Point blank. However, if Ohio State's able to kind of put a lid on that, I think we're going to see Ohio State do what they just did to Tennessee this other night, which is keep it all in front of them and then allow their ridiculously fast, aggressive, swarming kind of defense to rally up and do what they do best, which is get after the football. So that's, I think, something you could do. If you have a lid on it, keep it all in front of you, you allow guys like Sonny Styles to rove and go knock people's block off, and Caleb Downs go up and make tackles, like all those things. Then it's not a thing where you still can't have points scored on you, but you'd much rather have Oregon go 8-9 plays on you than go 2 plays and Evan Stewart scoring, and vibes are good on that side. So keep an eye on that. I think that'll have a massive, massive factor in who ends up winning this whole deal. In games like this where it's a rematch, I'm always really curious to see what the coordinators have cooked up because, it's tough. Tough to beat a team twice is a very fair moniker to have in this spot with how talented they are. I think it's tougher to game plan for a team twice because now they're watching that same tape you're watching of the last time they play, watching their tendencies and say, hey, this is where they beat us, this is where they got us. How do we course correct to make sure that doesn't happen again? And then if you're the other side of that, you're like, hey, we got them in this certain area. How do we have another pitch to then be able to get them off their P's and Q's they don't see coming, and we can find a way to attack them another way? So all that's to say is, like, how do you keep your opposition guessing? Chip Kelly did a phenomenal job last time they played, having some creativity in there, getting Will Howard moving, getting the run game going. Will Stein, the offensive coordinator for Oregon, was dialing it up like it was his job. It is his job, spoiler alert. Curious to see how that all looks because I think that both defenses will pin their ears back a little bit, already having a good gauge for what these defenses, or offenses rather, I should say, are going to do. Psychologically, too, where are these teams at? For Oregon, you're the number 1 seed in the whole bracket, and your reward for that is playing Ohio State. Not much of a reward. I wonder how much Oregon's feeling the weight of perfection. Is that fuel? Is that fatigue? Because I have to believe now, with that 0 in the loss column, as you continue to climb, there's probably this feeling of like, okay, is it relief when you win or is it joy when you win? Two very different experiences, also two very different, I would just say this, weeks that you're prepping for. Is it monotony and work, or is it a thing like, hey, heck yeah, we're in the college football playoff, like, let's go get after it? Different vibes and also different things that translate to success, I should say, different levels of success, I should say, when it comes to the Oregon side. For Ohio State, you just beat Tennessee. Vibes should be a lot better, obviously, than they were after you beat Michigan. Is there an exhale, or is it a kickstart to being able to play your best football? Because, I mean, if Ohio State's on a mission like they were against Tennessee, going to be a good day for the Buckeyes, right? Like, that brand of football they just played will be good enough, I believe, to make this game a Buckeye victory. Again, that's a big if, though. Will Howard had 5 incompletions against Tennessee? Like, it wasn't many. Going to be a very, very small margin for error against Oregon. But if they're able to have that same approach and that same purpose in what they do, Ohio State's going to be in good shape. So, again, no idea who we're picking in this one just yet. We'll do it on Tuesday, and I cannot wait for it. As of right now, it is Sunday morning, wee hours of the morning right now, just after midnight. Ohio State favored by 1.5. For those of y'all keeping track at home. So make sure you're subscribed. We appreciate the heck out of y'all. We love y'all. We're going to keep this party rolling. We will see y'all next time.